Since their birth, bombers have been designed for one single purpose: getting bombs to their target. In the Second World War, the Allies simply pounded the Axis powers with 3.5 million tons of conventional bombs primed to detonate on impact.
Well, when World War II broke out, the typical bombs, like you see here, anywhere from 100 to 1,000 pounds. The bomb is a free fall. It was literally just dropped from the aircraft. The impact fuse caused the bomb to explode when it actually hit the target.
For a special job, sometimes you need to design a special tool. The British dam busters raid of 1942 targeted the giant Ruhr industrial heartland in western Germany. The RAF faced two problems: how to get a bomb close enough to the Ruhr dam walls, and how to make sure the dams were smashed, flooding the factories below. Legendary explosives guru Barnes Wallis came up with the extraordinary bouncing bomb.
In order to get the bomb load in just the right place, you've got to have a bomb that's going to skip across the water, like a stone that a kid chucks across the water.
Getting the 9,000-pound bombs in the right place was half the battle. Then Barnes Wallis used the physical properties of water to bust the dams. The shock waves created by the dam-busting bomb exploding in air would quickly dissipate. But the molecular structure of water means it cannot be compressed. The shock waves are transmitted to the dam wall. Explosives expert Sidney Alford will show that if a bomb explodes in midair next to an empty dam, the wall will not be breached.
Let's see what that does to the brick. There we are. The only damage to the brick is superficial. It's like blackening from the explosive, that's all.
But if the same charge explodes in the water, the shockwave is enough to easily devastate the dam.
I'm pleased with that.
Like this experiment, the raid was a huge success. 14 Lancasters under Wing Commander Guy Gibson had to fly in under radar and drop their bombs at exactly 60 feet. 2 of the 6 dams were destroyed, and the other 4 were badly damaged. The Ruhr Valley Industrial Hub was washed away in a giant tsunami. When it comes to bangs, big is beautiful. Faced by the relentless Allied assault, the Germans defended key assets with extra tough fortifications.
As Germany retreated into the heartland of the Third Reich, all of their installations, all of their major production facilities, their headquarters moved underground. Ordinary bombs, ordinary high explosive bombs were not going to be sufficient.
Legendary bomb designer Barnes Wallis spawned 2 new super bombs. Tallboy weighed in at a mammoth 5 tons, and his big brother, the Grand Slam, at an unbelievable 10 tons.
The biggest bomb that the Lancaster carried was the Grand Slam, a 22,000-pound bomb. They carried just one bomb, and the bomb bays had to be adjusted. That was the largest bomb.
The Grand Slam was so humongous, engineers at Avro had to remove the doors completely.
You'd see the bombs fall in, and they seemed to fall very slowly, and then flash. They would be able to go most of the way through the concrete and burst there.
But rewind to the Second World War, and bombers were powered by piston engines and propellers. The prop was being pushed harder and harder. In a new era of intercontinental warfare, you needed a bomber with intercontinental range.
Even before Pearl Harbor, we were already contemplating bombers that could operate from the continental United States across the Atlantic or across the Pacific to hit far-flung targets.
The B-29 was the first bomber born to cruise at high altitude. Its 8,800 horsepower took it to over 30,000 feet, where it could evade fighters and anti-aircraft fire. The altitude tested the Boeing designers to the max. The B-29 was the first bomber to be pressurized, allowing the crew to survive the thin air and endure the 15-hour missions. Breathing apparatus and heated suits no longer needed.
You didn't have to wear the bulky flight clothing, the big heavy leather clothing, or the oxygen mask.
By the outbreak of World War II, bombers were multi-engined metal beasts. They had banks of powerful engines to generate enough power to lift 50 tons of steel into the air.
Our main doors open, 6 degrees right on course.
The future of bomber design was set. From World War II heavies to the B-2 stealth bomber, metal was the way forward. But in 1942, the de Havilland Company turned back the clock and developed a wooden bomber that was the fastest plane in the world, the Mosquito. The British Royal Air Force didn't immediately fall in love with the new Speed Stinger. Wooden airframes were the past. Aircraft of the future would be made of metal. Everybody knew that.
At the time, all the strategic materials were metal, but there was no call for timber.
But chief designer Geoffrey de Havilland was determined to prove the doubters wrong.
When they went down to the Air Ministry to sell this as a bomber, I thought they were going to lock him up, because who's going to make a wooden aircraft as a bomber?
But with Britain's stocks of metal running out, it made sense to try other materials and expertise.
There was an idea that the Mosquito could take advantage of some excess capacity in the British furniture making industry.
The people that were employed to make it were furniture cabinet makers, carpenters, all unemployed at the time, the finest piece of furniture this country has ever built.
The RAF's skepticism didn't last. They were knocked out by the Wooden Wonder's stunning trial results. The lightweight balsa and spruce airframe was propelled at over 400 miles an hour by the 2 Rolls-Royce V12 engines. That's 4 times as fast as the lumbering Handley Page.
It proved itself when the Air Ministry representatives came to have a demonstration of the prototype. They were completely shocked and taken over, and production orders were given straight away.
Cool aircraft.
The Mosquito was fast because of its light wooden airframe, but the quest for speed changed with the invention of the first jet engine aircraft. The wooden airframe revival was over, and the all-metal supersonic bomber was just around the corner.